can get myself out of the way and just leave it in God's hands. It'll be okay, no matter what happens. Because the good thing about it is, and I rely on this, and I lean on this a lot. Throughout life, when good things or bad things happen in life, and that's to remember, God don't make mistakes. No matter how dark it may seem to you, just remember, God don't make mistakes. And if we lean on Him, trust on Him, it'll be okay. Just pray for me. And originally wasn't planning on being here. Hoping to come up next weekend for the communion service and the foot washing. But you know, Mom, she wouldn't leave me alone. When she heard that her brothers were going to be in church, the phone call started. And it was like Mike told you, it wasn't about it. Wasn't coming up here for her. We do that. But she said, Chris, what if you could say something that would touch one of my brothers? Yep. Time is just eating us up, not slowing down. And it's not partial, it doesn't show favoritism. And it seems like the older we get, the faster it turns. It's just going and going. But I hope today that everybody that's here today, that you listen, you pray for me. I'm going to take my seat if God don't lift me up. Because you know what? The hardest thing that I've tried to do in my life, the hardest thing ever that I've had to face and I've tried to do is when I try to preach. Listen, it's just a battle and it's a struggle. But when God blesses me, when He will lift me up. Why the Son, when He comes in and fear moves out. Why the Son and I can be absent from the body and present with the Lord. Why? And the hair begins to stand up on my arms. The Son, there's nothing I'd rather do than to be able to preach when I feel my Lord today. Pray for me just for a minute at a time, and I'll get out of the way. Just like, you know what, when my Lord, when He talked about John the Baptist, I remember old John, he came, he shocked this world when he came. Why, they never heard anything like this before. This old man, this wild man, the Son, standing down on the banks of the river, crying a sound, making a cry they'd never heard before. And what my Lord say? He said, what went ye out to see? While John was out there preaching, what the crowds come together for? Was it just to hear the weeds blowing in the wind? No. But there was something there that this world needed to hear. There was something, it was bitter, but it was sweet at the same time. It was drawing them in, but it was breaking their hearts, wasn't it? Oh, God. People today, listen to me. As long as we've got breath in this life, we've got opportunity here to serve God. My Lord. know what? That some of my earliest memories was that. And I was thinking on those things, and I thought, does everybody realize that Mama, she didn't start this thing so we can have a family reunion? This is a memorial meeting she has, and you know what? She didn't start it either so that the children wouldn't forget their daddy. There's no fear of that. She didn't have this meeting to remind the family about Papa. That's not what it was about. But you know what? She had something a little more serious down inside. Oh, God. And you know what? I never met Papa, Johnny. And you know what? I never met Dad's dad either. Papa Jonah. I never met either one. But we preached about him many times. Now, isn't that something? Been gone for over 50 years, and we still preach about them. And you know what? You think about this, and when you think about Mama and why she started having this little meeting here, I told this many times, but this is exactly what it's all about. You know, Dad's dad, my Papa Jonah, he was burned up. Some garage blowed up on him. Why? He still had 6 children at home. Back in the 50s, I guess it was. I don't know what. And he was in the hospital. It burned him all over. He couldn't even feel anything. And they had him bandaged from head to toe. And they said if he could last, I think he said about 9 days, that he might have a chance. And you know what? During that time, he was talking to Mama while he was laying there. And he told her when he was laying there dying, he said, you know what? If I thought me dying would cause one of my children to pray and to go to heaven, then it'd be worth it to me. Oh, God. Mama didn't start this meeting here so we could have a family reunion. She didn't start this meeting here so that we wouldn't forget her and Papa. Listen. Oh, God. People, I'm telling you why you can have the joy in this world, because in 1979 I found a joy unspeakable. Oh, God. Listen, I'm gonna steal something from Brother Carol Ennington here. I heard him preach a memorial one time, and he put it like this. And you know what? He preached a good sermon, and he was closing it out, and he told them to get a song, and they started to sing, and a fire came on his heart, and he turned to the brother. He said, you hold on a minute, brother. And he turned to the family, and he put it to him like this. He said, if you heard your dad, listen, was over in Germany somewhere. He's been gone many years. If we heard that Mama and Papa, they was over in another country somewhere, you think about how long it's been since you've seen them. Wouldn't you sell everything just to buy one little ticket to go and see them? Listen, Mary, you know you would. Anybody would. Oh, God. I'm telling you about the man that bought you a ticket. You know why? When I leave this world here, I'm going home. I said many times, I've lived all over the place. I lived in Michigan, I lived in Kentucky, I lived in Tennessee, I lived in North Carolina. But you know what? I ain't made it home yet. I'm not homeward bound. I'm going, people. Ain't no wonder. those that captured us, those that carried us off, and they required us a song from us, and they said, listen, why don't you sing us one of those old songs of thine? And they said, down by the river, listen, we hung our harps on the willows, because those that captured us required a song of us, and they said, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Oh, sometimes I feel like I'm in a strange land here on this world. I don't understand how I feel about my Lord today. People, do you think we're making this up here? You heard me say I got a bunch of little grandkids. Why? I'm telling you, nobody here loves their children and their grandkids any more than I do. But you know what? The most important thing that I try to teach them is about God. It's good to provide a good home for them. It's good to get a good education for them. That's all good. But oh, God, more than anything, I want them to know when I leave this world, listen, I'm going home, and they can come to. You know what? My Lord's so good to us today. I remember when I was awful young. I remember when Mama laid in the hospital, Uncle John, for so long, and you was all in and out of there. You know what? I remember something I was told on you. Listen, Mom told me that you was in there one day, and Mama told on one of the nurses. She told you, she said that nurse hurt me. Listen, when she turns me, when she works on me, she hurts me. And Mom said, when that nurse came in there, you told her, you hurt my mommy again, and I'm going to put you out this window. Listen, I'm telling you about a love greater than that love. I'm telling you about a man, listen, to lay down his life for your mom. He got more for it than all of us put together could do. Listen, and I'm going home. I won't be worried when I leave here. I got a little grandbaby. I got to have surgery next month. Listen, and got us all worried once again. Every time we turn around, it's something. But you know what? It won't be something pretty soon because I'm going home. Listen, I'm going to leave this world behind. I don't need it anymore. Oh, are you ready to go? Are you ready to hear that roll call? Are you ready to hear your name called? In that morning, there's a little graveyard up on Cabin Ford. Listen, when there's names called, I can just see them graves bursting every which way. And they won't be looking around to see who's going with them. They're going to be looking can get myself out of the way. He's going to say, listen, sit down, Darrell, and you come. Take your time. As soon as Christ was dead and risen, and the apostles were preaching, people were accusing them of believing in a fairy tale. Peter said that. Peter said, we're not believing in a fairy tale like they say we are. You see, what this world's thinking right now, it's not new. No. The apostles were accused of the exact same thing. It's just make-believe. If this, what I've got, is make-believe, it's the best thing this world's ever given me. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah. Me too.
You come on. Children, I couldn't reach out anymore. There was no comfort on this side